Hello everyone, my name is John Michael Bushman and welcome back to Magic the Gathering Pauper Set Review. This is for Wilds of Eldraine. I have no idea if this review is gonna go over so well because I practically slept through the entire preview season of this set, and I haven't seen like a large majority of the comments in this set. There are 106 of them, so this is the point where I would say, let's just dive into it. But from the chatter that I hear, Wilds of Eldraine is going to be a pretty powerful set. Pretty much like what happened to us with Eldraine last time, where it broke multiple formats. Will Wilds of Eldraine do the same thing? Who knows? But based on the initial talks that I see on the internet, it will not be as busted as the first go around, but it's still equally powerful. So we're gonna see right now if the commons from Wilds of Eldraine will shake up the format that I personally like to play. So we're gonna start here with whenever we do this by color. I keep forgetting that you have to set this by color. There we go. So that so we go in Wooburg order. Okay, so we're gonna start here with Archon's Glory, a 1 mana instant. Great, more for the red-white not initiative, the red-white heroic deck. But I don't think this will be too good. No, it's sacrifice. Yeah. So in case you guys didn't know, there are a bunch of new mechanics for Wilds of Eldraine. Bargain is one of them, where you may sacrifice an artifact, enchantment, or token as you cast this spell. Which, now that I think about it, Bogles will actually love this spell because they usually have Cartouche of Solidarity, which creates a 1/1 token that's usually sacrifice fodder. And what Archon's Glory does, as an instant, it gives creature +2/+2, and if the spell was bargained, the creature also gains flying and lifelink, two really big keywords. Archon's Glory is definitely really a powerful battle trick, for sure. Again, usually when I look at battle tricks, the first creature that I always think of is Feather, because she's a really popular Boros commander. I think still to this day she's really popular, but I don't know how hard she's fallen out of favor. I do know that she has a really dedicated set of fans because her playstyle in Commander is really different compared to all other Boros commanders. But this is for the Pauper formats, so we're gonna see what's going to happen here. Archon's Glory, we may see this for Bogles, probably also for green-white versions of Infect, although usually Infect is like Simic, but we're gonna see. Keep an eye out for this one moving forward. Up next, we have Army Mice, a 2-mana 3/1, so slightly overcosted, really good attacker, but not a really good blocker. And it has another new mechanic, Celebration, where it gets +2/+0/+2 as long as 2 or more non-land permanents enter the battlefield under your control this turn. So it becomes a 2-mana 3/3, which in a format like Pauper, it's actually not that hard to get tokens onto play because of stuff like Battle Screech existing in this format. Armored Mice, this may see play, but who the hell knows? If there's one thing about me with these Pauper set reviews is more often than not I'm wrong in my assessments. Usually someone in the comments either points it out, or when I'm actually there playing the format, my card evaluations are extremely different because I'm not as like deep into the Pauper format as like the guys and gals in the Pauper committee and whatnot, but I just love playing this format. This is my competitive format of choice for Magic the Gathering because barrier to entry is really cheap. But as for Armory Mice, I can definitely see it seeing play somewhere, but I'm not too sure if it will make any significant impact. Although again, having 2 or more non-land permanents enter the battlefield under your control is not that hard in a format like Pauper. Up next, we have Besotted Knight, a 4-mana 3/3. Adventures make a comeback for the Pauper format, and the adventure here is Betroth the Beast, a 1-mana sorcery, where you create a royal roll token attached to target creature you control. So this is another like new mechanic for Wilds of Eldraine, where it gives a royal roll token for your creatures. It's like an emblem of sorts. Wait, is it an emblem? Is it a token? No, it's a token, so it's not an emblem. So you can technically interact with it, which is really interesting, although it's a non-creature token, which is fascinating. So it basically goes along the same lines as like clue tokens or What other non-creature tokens are there? Food tokens, yeah, clue tokens, food tokens, and whatnot. So there's that. And then it's basically the creature side is just flavor text where you are no monster to me, my love. Ah, somebody's a furry. I can respect that. I can definitely respect. Although the woman he's probably referring to in the art is just a girl who just so happens to be a werewolf, but who knows? It could actually just be a were person, or rather a wolf person, and could not transform back into a human being after all. But it's honestly really good art. Again, if there's one thing that Magic the Gathering has over a lot of other card games, is that its art is amazing. Okay, and Besotted Knight is all right. It's just we're still like early into this. It's just the first three cards out of 106, so we're gonna see more art as we proceed through this set review. Up next, we have Break the Spell, a 1 mana instant where it destroys target enchantment. Destroy your target enchantment. If a permanent you controlled or a token was destroyed this way, you draw a card. So this is incentivizing you to destroy your own thing so that you can replace it. That is interesting. Wait, as Hilda watched Ruby drag Kellan's unconscious form through the cold, Hilda felt something she did. Excuse me? This is a story spotlight and it's featuring Kellan? Kellan, as in Kellan, Oko's son. In case you guys didn't know, Kellan is apparently Oko's son. Oko's been busy since our last trip to Eldraine, and him getting a kiss from I'm guessing Hilda is a snow fairy of some sort, because Ruby and Kellan are like they're like at least in the snippets of lore that I've seen of Wilds of Eldraine, Kellan and Ruby are like Hansel and Gretel. Although granted, Ruby is more like what if Gretel was, or was it Hansel? I forget which one was the girl in that fairy tale, but yeah, there we go. Kellan getting a kiss from an ice fairy or some powerful ice-based mythological creature from Eldraine. But yeah, I mean it's a one man. Although ignoring the second line of text, a 1 mana destroy target enchantment is a really good sideboard tech against Bogles and other decks that rely on having stuff attached to creatures, but it's a little too narrow for my taste. I'd rather still have stuff like Naturalize, where it destroys an artifact or an enchantment, so you can cover even more bases with that. But having something where if you even have like disposable stuff on your side of the field, and then you just 1 mana, this is just 1 mana draw card, if ever. Keep an eye out for this one. Basically, wow, first row, like 3 cards already. Keep an eye out for them. Let's see, move on to the next row. We have Charmed Clothier, a 5 mana 3/3 ETB, create a Royal Roll token. Yeah, creature gets +1/+1, has Ward 1. That is 5 mana for the effect. If this were 4 mana, it would probably be too good, but at 5 mana, it's definitely a bit too much. Definitely more for limited, but I have been surprised more often than not when I'm playing Pauper, because sometimes when I see a card and I look at it and I go over all of the possibilities, I usually like cast it aside and go for something more powerful. But then, more often than not, the Pauper format is a really, really surprising place to see draft chaff suddenly become all-stars. So, but something like this, 5 mana 3/3, again, the baseline for like a majority of creatures for the Pauper format is if it has less than 3 toughness, more often than not, red decks will have a very easy time chewing through your deck. So definitely more for limited, but otherwise no. Next, Cooped Up, a 2 mana pacifism effect, and then for 3 mana you can exile the enchanted creature at any time. So this is definitely more for limited, although it could potentially see play in Pauper, but highly likely no. Because by the time you get to like 3 mana, it's not even like you can't even like flash this in. So this will not see play in constructed, but this is definitely more of a limited thing. Next, we have Frostbridge Guard. I'm assuming, the Sentry watch impassively. Its spear unmoving. One by one, the would-be adventurers stumbled and fell, frostbitten to the ground. Is this a reference to Elsa? Because that's the ice castle, like literally in the back. This is what would happen if Elsa was like a lot more like acted more like a princess, where she had guards and whatnot made out of ice. But As for what this guy does, 2 mana 2/2. Sure, it's a bear, it's a grizzly bear, and then a 3 mana activity ability where it taps a target creature, which is weird considering the flavor text where it stumbled and fell frostbitten. I would assume that they're like dying by that point because frostbite is a bitch to deal with. But I guess frostbite guards don't kill the trespassers, so definitely more for draft. Next, we have Hopeful Vigil, a 2 mana enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. If it's put into a graveyard from the battlefield, scry 2. So, this is a non-flash version of the cycle of instant speed enchantments from Theros Beyond Death. I forget what they're called off the top of my head, but it basically features like the 5 main gods, and then all of their effects do a thing that's related to their color identity. Having a non-flash version of it, I mean, it's a scry 2, and then it creates a token on entry. But I would love if the sacrifice clause made you draw a card as well. But I guess it's already like powerful enough where it creates a token on entry. So keep an eye out for this one. For limited, definitely, but for constructed, maybe not. Up next, we have Kellan's Lightblades, a 2 mana instant with Bargain. It deals 3 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. If it was Bargain, destroy it instead. That is surprisingly good, but I'm not too sure if the decks that can support it will even run this. But again, I have been wrong in my assessments before, so who knows if this is a sideboard all-star that I'm staring at, but ultimately will do nothing. But who knows? The Pauper format is a weird and wonderful place, and I love playing in it. Keep an eye out for this one moving forward, because you could blow some people out with this in limited. For constructed, and there are more efficient options in actual constructed Pauper, but keep an eye out for this one if you're a deck that can support it. Up next, we have Moment of Valor, another instant. Choose one. Untap target creature. It gets +1/+0 and indestructible, or destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. So this is another one of those enchantments that allow you to destroy a creature with power 4 or greater. So this is at the very least a sideboard card, because there are especially with the green decks that can poop out like really large creatures. This is definitely something worth it putting in the cyber, although there are like cheaper effects than this, but something to keep an eye out on. But otherwise this just for draft. Next, we have Plunge into Winter. Tap up to 1 target creature, scry 1, then draw a card. This basically removes an attack that would have been fatal, but otherwise it's basically 2 mana, scry 1, draw 1, at instant speed, by the way. So you can even ignore like the first line of text, because it just says up to 1, so you can choose to not target a creature at all, and then this just becomes scry 1, draw 1. This is definitely really good for me at least. This seems to be really good in an effect in white, by the way. So keep an eye out for this one. Keep an eye out for this one in EDH, because good god, 2 mana, scry 1, draw 1. I would take that any day. White definitely needs it. And then, what's the flavor text? When Hilda froze Loch Laren to create her palace, some merfolk dove deep enough underwater to escape the chill. Others weren't so lucky. Oh dear god, Hilda is a bitch. Up next, we have Protective Parents, a 3 mana 3/2. When it dies, oh no! Why did they have to die? Oh no. Young hero role token. If you control another role, yeah. What does it do? What does the young hero role? When this creature attacks, if its toughness is 3 or less, put a +1/+1 counter on it. So you put it on a 1/1, it becomes a 2/2, and then the 2/2 becomes a 3/3, and then after that you will no longer get counters. So it's a little slow, the young hero role, but this is definitely more for draft. I don't see this seeing play in actual constructed Pauper. Up next, we have Return Triumphant. This is a card that has been getting a lot of people in chatter, because a lot of people say that this is basically what Recommission should have been, because it returns any creature with mana value 3 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield, and then you put a young role token attached to it. Same as the one with Protective Parents. This basically what Recommission should have been. It's a lot of people say it's even better, because it makes the creature you bring back bigger over time. But for me, at least, in a format like Pauper, where removal is really basically like a few steps away from being legacy level good, I don't see the scene. I mean, Recommission barely sees enough play as is, so what more Return Triumphant? I mean, granted, they could like be played alongside each other, you know, have 8 copies of the same effect, but otherwise, I don't think this will do too much. But again, I'm always proven wrong when I do these assessments. So let's move on to the next one, which is Rhyme for Reindeer. 4 mana 3/4. When an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, tap target creature and opponent controls. No, just no. This is definitely more for limited. Attracted by the quiet of Hilda's realm, reindeer herds moved in and made themselves a home near the Palace of Ice. So they basically made Elsa like a real thing. Like life sprung, basically life sprung around it. That is interesting. Up next, we have Savior of the Sleeping, a 3 mana 2/3 with Vigilance. Whenever an enchantment you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, it gets slightly bigger. I do have a Gen deck where, you know, enchantments go into and out of the graveyard very, very often. And this guy could potentially be in that deck as a budget finisher option. But again, when you're already like playing actual constructed decks, something like this could be better, but this definitely more for limited, you know, same with Rhyme for Reindeer. Up next, we have Slumbering Keep Guard. Why are you sleeping on the job? But I guess, you know, if you're under a spell, I don't see why not. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, scry 1, and then gets +1/+1 till end of turn for each enchantment you control. Ooh, each enchantment, you say, and it's a 1-drop. Ooh. This guy could potentially be really goddamn good, especially if you like suit him up with a bunch of enchantments. Yeah, but in the Boggles deck, you'd rather really have a creature that has hexproof rather than something like this guy that gives you card advantage. And granted, that deck already does like a really good job of filtering through its deck to find the pieces that it needs so that it wins the game in a timely fashion. Because if there's one thing I've realized playing with and against Boggles is you need to kill your opponent quick. You're basically playing mono red, but you're not in red. Having an effect like this only slows you down way too much before you can unalive your opponent. It's definitely spicy for a draft, but in actual constructed, there are unfortunately better options. Up next, we have Stockpiling Celebrant, a Dwarf Knight. A 3 mana 3/2. When it enters battlefield, return target non-land permanent you control to its owner's hand. And if you do, scry 2. This can definitely be used to recycle some of your ETB effects in draft, but in constructed, there are probably better options. And yes, you are indeed saving it for later. But why are you a knight? You should definitely be more like a rogue. But otherwise, I don't think this will do too much in constructed. In draft, this will definitely be really, really funny. Up next, we have Twin Veil Guide, a 4 mana 2/3 flying and has celebration. Gets +1/+0 and lifelink if you've met the celebration requirement. Fairies are a sub-theme within Wilds of Eldraine, so I could definitely see this guy being more of a curve filler rather than something you have to actively look for in your draft pool. But otherwise, no, I don't think this will see too much play. But again, I have been proven wrong where some overcosted card suddenly sees like mainstream constructed play because, you know, somebody managed to break it somehow. The Pauper community is really, really smart like that. Up next, we have Unassuming Sage, so another Grizzly Bear for 2 mana 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, you may pay 2. If you do, create a Sorcerer role token. Whenever this creature attacks, scry 1. So it's potentially a 2 mana 3/3. Well, not really 2 mana. 4. So 2, 3. Wait, 3. So yeah, it's a 4 mana 3/3. I mean, why not? A 4 mana 3/3 is really, really aggressive. Is really, really good stats. But you know, again, it dies to Lightning Bolt, and then you'd have to be able to attack it to get your money's worth. So probably more for limited, but even then, I'm not too high on the prospects of this card. Next, we have Aquatic Alchemist, a 2 mana 1/3 elemental, where it has an adventure, Bubble Up. Put target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard on top of your library. Mystic Sanctuary does what this guy does, but a lot better. But I think Mystic Sanctuary is banned by this point. If not, then okay, fine. But this seems to be a waste of a deck slot for me. Definitely more for limited because its creature form is whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery spell, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. So it becomes a 2 mana 3/3 if you manage to cast at least one instant or sorcery spell, and it's each turn. So hell, even during your opponent's turn. So this could be more offensive or defensive tool, but otherwise probably more for the limited environment. Up next we have Belluna's Gatekeeper, a 6 mana 6/5. Oh boy, what does this giant do? Adventure, entry denied. It's a sorcery. Return target creature you don't control with mana value 3 or less to its owner's hand. So it's a removal spell for low costed creatures, and then it's just a 6 mana 6/5. There's definitely more for limited. I don't think this will see too much constructed play because there are like 2 mana spells in the format that does what she does, and it's even better because it's at instant speed, not sorcery speed. So no, this is definitely more to fill out your limited deck, but otherwise constructed, no. Up next we have Diminisher Witch, a 3 mana 3/2 with Bargain. When it enters the battlefield, if it was Bargain, create a cursed roll token attached to a target creature an opponent controls. Oh boy, what does Cursed Roll do? It turns the creature into a fucking 1/1? Excuse me? So this is potentially a removal spell. Although granted, it doesn't remove the creature's abilities, but it does turn the creature into a 1/1. So it makes it really bad in combat. But otherwise, having to bargain this creature in so that you can get the most out of it. In these colors in particular, you definitely need a support color. You can't go mono blue with this witch. You definitely need another support color like say green or hell even white for that matter, or maybe you could even go red if you have like token generators that way. But otherwise, it's definitely more for limited. Up next we have Freeze in Place, a sorcery. Tap target creature an opponent controls and put 3 stun counters on it. Scry 2. So this is a slightly better version of that card that from Dominaria United. I don't remember if it scries 2 as well, but I definitely remember it putting 3 stun counters on a creature and opponent controls, and it's also still a sorcery. So you have 8 copies of it now with that and Freeze in Place. But unfortunately, that card didn't see the constructed play that I hoped it would. So this definitely same with Freeze in Place. This is definitely more for the limited environment. Up next we have Ice Out. So this is basically a counter spell if you bargain it, but otherwise it's it's a slightly better cancel. Oh my god, I mean, cancel is already like a semi it's like the 9th or 10th best counter spell anyway, so this is something to consider for your blue X deck in constructed, especially if you're if you have like disposable creatures on board anyway, or hell even other disposable stuff on board anyway. But in other formats, definitely probably not. Into the Fey Court, 5 mana sorcery. Draw 3, create a 1/1 fairy with flying. This gonna block creatures with flying. That's Kellen. Kellen stepped from his village into a strange world where trees bore jeweled fruit. A regal, inhuman voice rang in his ears. Tell me, brave hero, are you true of heart? Ooh, that's Hilda. Basically beckoning. Oh, wait, is that Hilda? No, it's definitely not Hilda. Because Hilda's right here. Hilda built an ice statuary from all those who couldn't understand. Go away. Yep, Hilda is definitely the Elsa of the story. But going back into the Fey Court, 5 mana, draw 3. I mean, if there's one thing that I analyzed back during Lord of the Rings, I thought Lorien Revealed will not see any play. Apparently, it's not just a Pauper All-Star, it's also a fucking Legacy All-Star. Legacy! People are starting to cut fetch lands in Legacy because of the common cycle of land cyclers in Lord of the Rings. I cannot believe that actually happened. But there are better people out there who can analyze cards better than I do. So wow, I cannot believe that happened. But into the Fey Court, definitely it will not have the impact that Lorien Reveal did. So let's move to the next one with Johann Stopgap, a 4 4 mana sorcery with bargain. It costs 2 less to cast. If it's bargained, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, draw a card. I mean, there's a reason it's just a stopgap, and it's also at sorcery speed. So no, I mean, not even, even in as a pardon the pun, even and it's not a pun. I forgot what the term is, but yeah. Even as a stopgap measure in limited, no, there are better. There are better ways. Like Belluna's Guard, yeah, Belluna's Gatekeeper does what this does, but it's attached to a creature. This move on to the next one. We have Living Lectern, a 2-mana 0/4 artifact creature construct, so another toy for Affinity decks to potentially use. Sacrifice it, draw a card, create a sorcerer role token attached to up to, oh my god, the wording, up to what, attached to up to one other target creature you control. Activate only as a sorcery. Oh my god. That is interesting. Whenever it attacks, cry one. No. I mean, Affinity already has enough draw spells as is. I don't think they need another one like this. Blood Fountain already does what this thing does, but slightly better. So probably no. Next we have Merfolk Coralsmith, a 3-mana 2/3. Will not read the rest of it. If it dies, cry to no, just no, not even for limited. Next we have Misleading Motes, a 4-mana instant. Target creature's owner puts it on top or bottom of their library. Yarvis was almost certain he'd seen the same tree an hour ago, but then again, didn't all trees look alike? He shelved his doubts and followed the friendly twinkling motes deeper into the forest. He is definitely going to die. Oh boy. But otherwise, this card, no, it's 4 mana. It's a little too heavy even for the Pauper format. Next we have Mocking Sprite, a 3-mana 2/1 flying instant and sorcery spells you cast, cost 1 less to cast. I have heard that standard players are really excited for this card because this will be played alongside Haughty Djinn, and having those two side by side means that a lot of your instants and sorceries will now cost 2 less to cast. So definitely something to look forward to in standard if you're even that kind of player. But otherwise in Pauper, there are definitely better options. Most of the best fairies in the Pauper format cost like only 2 and 1. Making them 3 is already asking for too much. Next we have Obira's Attendants, a 5-mana 3/4 with what is this do? Desperate Parry. Target creature gets -4/-0. I'm reading the rest of the card. No. Obira's devoted servants shrieked as their sleeping mistress slashed at them unseeing. No. Just no. Not even for limited. Oh my god. Let's move on to the next one. Quick Study. 3-mana draw 2 cards. This is what people have said. Hey, this is just divination has finally been power-crept out of limited. Yay! Oh my god. At first, Johan was annoyed that the library had decided to reorganize itself, but he had to admit that storing the cookbooks in the cauldron made a certain kind of sense. Huh. See, if there's one thing that I loved about Eldraine, during its first outing, is that the flavor text for each and every one of the cards, especially for the cards that can support flavor text, is really, really whimsical and funny. Because it's what Eldraine's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a whimsical fairy tale-esque type land. And it's not supposed to be taken too seriously, especially Wilds of Eldraine takes place just shortly after March of the Machines, where the Kenrith monarchy has basically been murdered. Linden and King Kenneth himself are dead, and then the kingdom is scrambling because of the vacuum and power that they have left behind. But Quick Study, maybe because it's instant speed. That's like its biggest advantage over divination. Definitely keep an eye out for this one. Sleight of Hand getting a reprint into modern. Getting a reprint in standard. I mean, once again after all this time, and this will make Sleight of Hand legal in Pioneer as well. So this is definitely a cantrip that most of the Pioneer decks have been looking for to go alongside with Consider, or I think Impulse is now also part. Yeah, Impulse is also Pioneer legal now as well. So Yeah, definitely this is definitely exciting for blue based pioneer decks moving forward. In Pauper, it has a lot of competition. It has to fight against like Ponder, Preordain, Brainstorm. So yeah, Pauper, we already know what our cantrips are. Next we have Snare Master Sprite, a 1 mana 1/1. Okay, ETB, pay 2, tap. No. This just takes something out of combat temporarily, and the stun counter is removed after the fact. No. And then we have Spell Stutter, not Spell Stutter Sprite, it's just actual factual Spell Stutter. This has a blanket pay 2 and then plus an additional 1 for each fairy you control. So this is basically 2 mana counter target spell unless they pay 2, and then if you have fairies on board, this is going to the tax is going to cost even more. So I can definitely see why a lot of people are excited about this card, because this is a instant speed well, I mean, spell sprite can only be cast at flash speed, but this is a spell version of spell stutter sprite, and there's reason to be excited for it. Dimir fairies are going to be standard legal again. If you weren't playing in Lorwyn during that time period, I mean, I surely wasn't. So definitely keep an eye out for this card. This is like one of those cards that people are going to be searching foil copies of, because look at that art. That is amazing. Next we have Stormkeld Prowler, a 2 mana 2/1. Whenever you cast a spell with mana value 5 or greater, put 2+1/+1 counters on it. Pass. Next we have Vandra's Transmuter, a 4 mana 3/4 with Cloaking Curse as an adventure. Tap target creature, create a curse roll. No, not even. Oh my god, not even for limited. No. Oh my god. Next, Water Wings, a 2 mana instant. Target creature you control gets base power 4/4 and gains flying and hexproof. So this is another one of those cards that a lot of not Voltron, Bogles and Infect players are really excited for. And luckily for the Plummeting Johan, the Hydroloft spell was one he had actually mastered. Well, good on you, Johan. Now I'm curious what your card is about. You're probably like either an uncommon or a rare, but I'm gonna see that once I give this set a better once over, with all of the cards rather than just the commons. But this is definitely a card that I can definitely see seeing play somewhere, because especially in Infect, where they already love to count to 10 anyway. Turning your dinky 1/1 Infect creature into a 4/4 on base before even applying for the various defenses that the deck has. Water Wings is definitely a way to bridge that gap alongside Scale Up. And although I think this is already like slightly better than Scale Up, because this gives hexproof as well, so it already prevents your Infect creature from like biting the dust from a cast down and whatnot. Hello again in Boggles, it's already not a problem, but again, having base power 4/4 is pretty big, especially for Pauper. Next we have Barrow Naughty, a 2 mana 1/3 and has lifelink if you control another fairy. There's definitely a high pick for the Dimir Fairies archetype in draft, because you just need another fairy, and it fills out the curve really nicely. And then having a flying lifelink creature, and then he can potentially buff himself up if you have spare mana lying about. Definitely keep an eye out for this one for draft, but for constructed, probably not. Next we have Candy Grapple, a 2 mana instant with Bargain. Target creature gets -3/-3, and then if it was Bargain, -5/-5 instead. So this is just another way to kill what was that, Tolarian Terror. Yeah, another way to kill Tolarian Terror, because that thing's having a 5/5 in the format is really like has basically shifted a lot of removal spells. The ward on that thing is so hard to get past, if especially if you do not set up properly. But yeah, there's definitely something to watch out for in constructed, but in limited, flavor text. Don't you mean poisonous? There's no such thing as a venomous. Oh my god, this set is amazing. Next, we have Conceited Witch, a 3 mana 2/3, mirror on the wall. That's an ugly ass bitch. Price of Beauty, create a Wicked Roll token. Then exile this card, you may cast it later from exile. So you can just ETB it again? Question mark. Then it has Menace. Well, she wasn't much for self-reflection. Yep, you really weren't. But otherwise, this is just highly likely just draft filler. Next, we have Eriet's Whisper. Target opponent discards 2 cards. Create a wicked roll token. Attach up to 1 target creature you control. I really that kind of sentence really just trips me up so hard. Attach to up to 1 target creature. Is there like no cleaner way they could have sent? They could have like formatted that. But I mean, if it made it into the final card, then I guess they found a way to make it work. But otherwise, 4 mana discard 2. No. Next, we have Feed the Cauldron, an instant. 3 mana, destroy target creature with mana value 3 or less. If it's your turn, create a food token. Kellan heard Agatha howl when he slammed into her, heard her scream as she fell into the cauldron, but couldn't afford to think about the implications just yet. Oh my god, he killed the bitch. Oh my god, he killed Agatha. Oh no. I mean, it's easy to cast because it's just it's not murder where it's 1 black black. This is just 2 generic and 1 black. But it only destroys like low level creatures, so probably not, unfortunately. And you know, it's competing for it's competing against Cast Down, which is the best removal spell in Pauper now. So anything lesser than that, unfortunately, I don't think we'll see any play. Probably more for limited, but not for actual constructed Pauper. Up next, we have Fell Horseman. It has an adventure. Return target creature from your graveyard to your hand. So, yeah, when it dies, put it at the bottom of its owner's library. Ooh! Definitely for limited, so that you don't like run out. You know, this is like you're not gonna be sad to draw this, but you're not gonna be happy either. So this meets the middle ground somewhat. But otherwise, for constructed, no, there are better options. Next, we have Hopeless Nightmare, an enchantment. Ah, yes, this is the common enchantment that a lot of Pauper players that I know are really excited for. On ETB, each opponent discards cards and loses 2 life. When it's put into a graveyard from the battlefield, scry 2. This definitely goes into my Gen deck. Because it looks innocuous, but it says each opponent, so they knew what they were doing. With this thing, and with Gen being a sacrifice outlet all by himself already, there are a lot of stuff here. I'm going to look over the set and look at stuff that has bargain, so that I have ways to put stuff into the graveyard a lot easier than the one that I currently have. Holy shit. But yeah, Hopeless Nightmare. This will definitely see play in EDH decks that can care about it. But otherwise, in constructed Pauper, probably yes. But I'm holding out my hope that this will see competitive, serious competitive play, because 1 mana to do its thing and then lose 2. That's honestly really good. Especially in mono black control, if you know, as if they didn't already need enough of these kinds of effects, and it's also scry 2, so it can allow them to basically filter their draws almost as good as the blue decks do. So yeah, definitely keep an eye out for Hopeless Nightmare moving forward. Next, we have Minstrosity. Oh my god, I love this set. If the sugary abominations of Sweet Tooth Village were ever under someone's control, that time is long past. It's funny, okay? It's just funny. In limited, you have a story from your friend and say, hey, how did your round 1 go? I got killed by a Minstrosity, man. Oh, this is going to be funny for just to keep 1 or 2 copies of this just for the memes. But otherwise, not even for limited, unfortunately. Up next, we have Not Dead After All. Ooh, Agatha's back. Agatha didn't die. Oh no. But otherwise, the effect that it does is just a slightly similar version to all of the other undying style effects that we've been getting surprisingly consistently over the past couple of years. This some people have said that this could potentially slot into the scam decks that have been running around in Modern, or hell, even Pioneer, as some people do that. But I will keep an eye out for this one, but if this doesn't see any play, then then I guess I was wrong. Up next, we have Rat Out, a 1 mana instant. Up to 1 target creature gets -1/-1, then create a black rat. So this, you can use this to pick off. Is it raining? I think. Oh no. No, it's not raining. It's just really the wind is just really cold right now. You could use this to pick off smaller creatures, especially in a format like Pauper where a lot of 1/1s are like really not exactly the most efficient, but sometimes 1/1s are extremely problematic. And this is definitely a way for you to just pick them off if they're troubling you. But otherwise, maybe highly likely not. We'll highly likely not see constructed play. Up next, we have Rowan's Grim Search. This is a spell that I am personally excited for because I'm gonna read the card first. So for if you bargained it, look at the top 4 cards of your library, then put the 2 of them back on top in any order and the rest into the graveyard. Wait, no, I am reading it wrong. So if you bargained it, look at the top 4, put 2 of them back on top and then the rest into the graveyard. Yeah. And then you draw 2 and then lose 2. So if you bargain this spell, this is just 3 mana draw 4. In the decks that care significantly about their graveyard, Rowan's Grim Search is just 3 mana draw 4. And then you just lose 2 life on top of it. That is an insane amount of value printed onto a common. And I play the Gitrog monster, and this spell rocks for me. So I will definitely buy a full copy of this if I could get my hands on it, because it's that good of a spell. But for constructed, probably not. But I can definitely see it seeing play in mono black control. But it's competing against a lot of like really good black draw spells. So it may not see play after all. But if it does, then all the more power to it. Up next, we have Scream Puff. Oh my god. This set. I love Eldraine. I love the Eldraine set so much. Oh my god. 5 mana 4/5 Death Touch. When it deals combat damage to a player, create a food token. Ooh, that's actually really good. But it has Death Touch even. So too much sugar is indeed bad for your health. Definitely a curve topper in the draft format. But I don't think this will see constructed play. Yeah, it doesn't have any it doesn't have any relevant creature types that a lot of the top decks are already using. You can potentially resurrect this back using stuff like Exhume, or hell, even the recently downshifted Dread Return, which is now that I think about it, Dread Return is currently being used to supercharge a really balls to the wall glass cannon style combo deck in the format right now, which is One Land Spy, where it's just rituals, mana rocks, and it finishes the game off using Lothlet Giant, where it has like 20 plus creatures in the graveyard, and then it just shoots the opponent to death. This is but in comparison to Scream Puff, it's just funny that a lot of like sweets, there's an entire village literally called Sweet Tooth Village. Oh my god, the more people may shit on Eldraine for breaking a lot of competitive formats, but good god, the amount of flavor this set has. This is only your second time around going at it, but this is I love it already. I love it so much. Next, we have Shatter the Oath, a 5 mana sorcery that destroys target creature or enchantment. Ooh, it creates a Wicked Roll token. That is interesting. That it can also potentially destroy an enchantment, but the fact that it's 5 mana, that's a bit much. Next, we have Stingblade Assassin, a 4 mana 3/1 with flash, flying, and when it enters the battlefield, destroy target creature and opponent controls it excuse me. Destroy target creature and opponent controls that was dealt damage this turn. A bit too slow at 4 mana, unfortunately. Next, we have Sugar Rush. 2 mana instant, target creature gets +3/+0, and then you draw a card. I mean, this is a cantrip in black, and it also like potentially buffs up the creature, but otherwise no. And I smell frosting. Ready your weapons. Greta, the Scourge of Sweet Tooth. Oh my god. Alright, because Greta is like an actual character. Hansel and Greta are I forgot that Hansel and Greta are actual characters in Eldraine. They just have legally distinct names to, differentiate them. Although granted, I'm pretty sure like the Brothers Grimm stories are like public domain now, but I don't quote me on that. I'll have to do my research after the fact. Next, we have Sweet Tooth Witch. Enters the battlefield, create a food token, then sacrifice food, target player loses 2 life. Ooh, a sacrifice outlet for food tokens, so I'm assuming She is a key card in the food making archetype for this set, in the draft format at least. Because she is potentially a mana sink that will like literally throw pies at your opponent until they die somehow. Then, yeah, try some pie. Your brother helped make it, and he really poured his heart into it. Oh no! So it's could potentially actually be her brother's heart. Oh no! Oh no! And it's a 3/2, so I mean, she dies to a lot of removal, but good God, probably by the time you've set up the Sweet Tooth Witch, your opponent could be like drowning in all of the food that you're going to be throwing at them at that point. Keep an eye out for her for draft, but in constructed, probably not. Next, we have Voracious Vermin, a 3-mana 2/1, enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 rat, and it can't block. Whenever another creature dies, put a +1/+1 counter on. Whoa, 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 whoa. That is a really good effect. And then it just, oh wait, no, another creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Okay. So, I mean, mono black control already like sacrifices a lot of its own creatures, and then there's like this below the radar mono black deck that sacrifices a lot of its own permanents to gain a lot of advantage. But otherwise, keep an eye out for it, but I'm not going to hold out my hopes for it. Next, we have Warehouse Tabby, a 1-mana 1/1. Whenever an enchantment you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, create a rat, and then it will gain Death Touch. You are surrounded by rats. Yeah, for every rat she kills, 10 more take its place. And then Voracious Vermin, Lord Skitter promised the starving nuts of Edgewold that they would never go hungry again. You call yourself Lord Skitter, but there's like, you're only talking to like two other subjects there. Then Warehouse Tabby, yeah, dead rat. Oh no, yay, you're supposed to be happy. Why are you surrounded by other rats? God, the flavor of this set never fails. Oh well, it hasn't failed hard yet, so we'll see. Next we have Wicked Visitor, a 2-mana 2/2, so it's a grizzly bear. Whenever enchantment you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life. Okay, so more support for my Gen deck. I really should look over this set because there's a surprising amount of enchantment support in this deck. Oh boy, I may have to redo my Gen deck after seeing all this. Next we have Bellowing Bruiser. So now we're on the red card, so we're almost done. 5 mana up to target creatures can't block. 4 or 5 mana for Fervid Haze. You can't give an ogre the run around. That morph, not even for limited. It's like last pick material right here. No. Next, we have Bespoke Battle Garb. Equip creature gets +2/+0, then Celebration. Attach it to a target creature control. No. Just no. Let's move on to the next one. Cut in. Deal 4 damage to target creature. Create a young roll token. Maybe, but it's a little too slow. Oh boy, the red cards are not showing too much promise at them. Let's see the rest of them. Edgewall Pack. Just a bunch of, what the fuck? Is that? Oh the hell! Lord Skitter is commanding the dogs. Excuse me. The hell? What? It even has menace. When I was about to, oh my god. The mayor sent hounds to root out Lord Skitter, but our loyalty was easily bought with a handful of bones. You go get him, Lord Skitter. Hell yeah. I am rooting for this. I will look for your card in this set, Lord Skitter. If you're not in this set, I will be pissed. It's a funny card, but in actual constructed, unfortunately, these good boys will not see too much play. Although, granted, it's actually really surprising that they have been representing more and more like real world breeds of dogs in the sets these days, no longer just fantasy dogs, which is, I mean, good boys are good boys and all, but good God. Our dogs here in the real world are real in Magic the Gathering as well, so that's a thumbs up. Next, we have Flick Coin. Flick Coin deals 1 damage to any target, create treasure token, draw a card. So, deal 1, make a treasure, draw 1. So, it's essentially a 2-mana, deal 1, draw a card. I mean, there are better effects, but no. Just no. From here, hit the Antique Gong, ricochet off the Suit of Armor, and get Gunrod on the nose. Is that all? No, that will definitely not work, but let's see if it works. Next, we have Frantic Firebolt. Instant. Deals X damage to target creature where X is 2 plus the number of cards in your graveyard that are instants, sorceries, and or have an adventure. This could potentially just be a really massive fireball if you set it up right. And the amount of setup that this thing needs, it's probably very easy to do in Limited, but in Constructed, sure, Frantic Firebolt for lethal. Counterspell? No. This is probably really funny if you manage to pull it off, but Johan, yeah, that's the face I will be making as well, Johan. Yeah, Johan's conjecture about Draconic Fire dispelling rainwater elementals are proved to be correct. No, I just needed to wait to dispel Draconic Fire. Johan! Oh my god. Let's move to the next one. Gnawing Crescendo. 3 mana, instant. Creature you control get +2/+0. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, create a 1/1 rat. So, yeah. Totentanz's song had no lyrics, but the rats understood it nonetheless. You own this land, it says you deserve to feast. That is scary when the Pied Piper starts making the rats say, hey, take over the city. You know, but otherwise, no. Probably more for Limited, although granted, and then in Constructed it's like competing in the same space as Rally the Peasants, which is a spell that has flashback, so you can like it gives, that spell gives +4/+0, and this just makes +2/+0, so give or take. So let's move on to the next one. We have Grabby Giant, a 4 mana 4/3 instant. That's mine. It just makes a treasure token, and then it has, well, I mean, it does make sense that the Grabby Giant has reach. It is holding a bow and arrow after all. Then sacrifice an artifact or a land to draw a card. For 3 mana for this effect is a bit much because at least in EDH where I have Sprouting Goblin in my Windgrace deck. The upside at least is you don't have to tap him, but 3 mana for that effect is a bit much, and then Sprouting Goblin only needs 1 mana. But in Pauper, probably not, and hell, not even like Constructed. In Limited, probably just curve filler in case you need it. Next, we have Grand Ball Guest, a 2 mana 2/2 that gets that can become a 3/3 if 2 or more non-land permanents enter the battlefield under your control this turn. So that's the celebration requirement. So yeah, I mean, a lot of people are surprisingly excited for this card because it is in Pauper at least, it's surprisingly easy to meet the celebration requirement. It becomes a 2 mana 3/3 with Trample. That is really, really good in a format like Pauper. Keep an eye out for this one, but I wouldn't hold my hopes out too high for it. Next, we have Harried Spearguard, a 1 mana 1/1 with haste, and when it dies, create a rat. Just create a rat. Why are you vermin so daft? This is a warehouse full of bricks. Bricks! You can't eat bricks. Yeah, because they're gonna eat you, miss. Unfortunately. Oh no. Kindled Heroism. Target creature gets +1/+0 and gains first strike. Scry 1. Hey, this is another one of those effects that is like literally taken word for word from another card, but instead given a different name. So yeah, more battle tricks for the feather decks. Even in the grip of Hilda's unnatural cold, something in Kalan felt bright as spring. Something that poured into the empty hilts he'd been given by Talion and formed thorn-sharp blades of light. My good sir, you are a planeswalker, and that's your spark. I'm giving you the magical energies necessary for you to be able to do your magical thing. So, has your father even told you that? I'm pretty sure he hasn't. So let's move on to the next card. Up next, we have Merry Bards, a 3 mana 3/2. When it enters the battlefield, you may pay 1, and then you create a young roll token. No. So it's it's potentially a 4 mana 3/2. Well, yeah, a 4 mana 3/2, and then oh my god, no, just no, not even as curve filler. Well, probably for curve filler in draft, but in Constructed, probably highly likely no. Next, we have Minecart Daredevil, a 3 mana 4/2. Ride the rails. Target creature get +2/+1, and then it's basically a vanilla creature. Funny, really funny art though. Yeah. Mines that once rang with pickaxes, with strikes of pickaxes, now echo with shouts of reckless glee. Oh boy. That does not bode well for the working forces. Oh my god. A Ratcatcher Trainee, a 2 mana 2/1. Human peasant, instant pest problem. It creates 2/1/1 rats. Okay, as long as it's your turn, she gains first strike. Where do they keep coming from? I don't fucking know. I mean, because you keep catching them and then you keep forgetting them that you keep sending them back out. Probably, or probably because of Totentans. Oh, God, that's such a difficult name to pronounce. But otherwise, yeah, not even curve. I mean, it's an instant speed adventure at least. So I can definitely see it seeing play in at very least limited, because rats are like a sub theme within this set apparently. Yes, I haven't looked over the entire set. I'm just looking at the comments now because I did not have the time to keep up with Wilds of Eldraine, because I mean, quite literally, as the Commander Master's hype was like dying down, Watsy suddenly goes, "Hey, here's Wilds of Eldraine now!" Oh my god. Didn't even give the players' wallets like that much time to rest and relax. Oh my god. But otherwise, Ratcatcher Trainee, probably not. Next, we have Redcap Thief, a 3-mana 2/3, enters the battlefield, create a treasure token. I mean, this is basically what Dockside Extortionist is. If you squint hard enough, just take off your glasses, put your face directly onto the screen right now, and then tell me this is just Dockside Extortionist but slightly overcosted. Next, we have Skewer Slinger, a 2-mana 1/3. Why does this guy have reach? When it blocks or becomes blocked, it deals 1 damage. Just give this death touch, and then he can basically machine gun down any creature that tries to attack you. But why does this thing have reach? I don't fucking know. I mean, it does have a 3 toughness. It does have 3 toughness, so it can block really, really well. So there's that. Keep an eye out for this for draft at least. Next, we have Torch the Tower, an instant. Ooh, okay. With Bargain. Deal 2 damage to target creature Planeswalker. If it was Bargain, deal 3 damage instead, and then scry 1. If the permanent was dealt damage to it, would die, exile it instead. So, yeah, these kinds of effects, a lot of standard players really, really love this kind of effect where they, it deals 3 damage and then exiles the target instead. So, definitely will be seeing play in standard. But for for formats that don't have rotation, there are like far better options than this, unfortunately. For Pauper, again, it's competing against a lot of stuff, so I don't think this will see play there. But it does have the bargain upside, so who knows where it will see play. Probably stuff that has a lot of disposable bodies here and there, but otherwise, you may just pass this over, but if it sees play somewhere, I mean, I wouldn't fault you for it. Next, we have Unruly Catapult. Why would a catapult be unruly? Deal 1 damage to each opponent whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell. Untap it. Ooh, this is another Thermal Alchemist style effect for slightly more mana, and it's a 0/4 with Defender. That is actually really goddamn good. Holy shit. This will definitely be going into a lot of burn-based EDH decks moving forward, because hey, it's another one of those kinds of effects. So yeah, you'll definitely be seeing this in a lot of EDH decks moving forward, because it does what a lot of the other like Thermal Alchemist style effects do already. Excuse me. Oh my god, I burped. But in constructed, again, it's competing with a lot of stuff already, so probably not. And like the burn decks in Pauper are already pretty like tight by this point. They want to just deal 3 damage consistently. So if you're going to dilute the deck at the 3 mana slot, because they really only want to play on like 1 and 2 mana at the very most, so having something at 3 will definitely be pushing it. Next, we have Witch's Mark. This, you may discard a card. If you do, draw 2 cards. Otherwise, just create a Wicked Roll. So the fact that this says may discard means that this just 2 mana gives something the Wicked Roll. That's actually really goddamn good, all things considered. If you don't need the card draw, you can just give something the Wicked Roll. So yeah, I mean, it could be better, but having the modality is pretty nice. Next, we have Beanstalk Worm, a 5 mana 5/4 where it has sorcery, plant the beans. Play an additional land, and then it has reach. When Balloonist pets escape Stormcloud villagers Villages fall and new ever stocks rise. That is probably not a good idea to let your pets do just simply, destroy entire not gonna say civilizations, settlements there. I suggest you don't do that, Miss Baluna. Please keep your pets in check. Oh my God, your neighbors are complaining again. Next, we have Beetle Bloodline, a 2 mana aura that gives Enchanted Creature +2/+2, and then you can for 5 mana return it to your hand. There is a fierce joy in losing yourself to savagery, and a bitter pain in regaining your senses afterwards. You can never understand, Mom. It's just a phase, Mom, where I'm feral. I'm cool like that, Mom. All the other kids are doing it. Why can't I? Oh, speaking of that same woman here in the art, it's also this Ferocious Werefox. Ooh, we'll get to you in a bit, but Bestial Bloodline probably not. Brave the Wilds. Okay, so this is one of those spells that a lot of Pauper players are hell even Commune with Nature. I think this is like a reprint. Yeah, reveal a creature, put it into your hand. Yeah, that's like card advantage. Holy shit, that's actually really goddamn. This is also really goddamn good. But Brave the Wilds first. If the spell was bargain, target land you control becomes a 3/3 creature, and then also searches a basic land. There's a player at the LGS I work at, where he has a mono green Stompy deck, and he says that this card is just an absurd upgrade for the deck because you would want to sacrifice Young Wolf anyway. So oh wait, no, you only sacrifice a artifact, enchantment, or a token. So yeah, he will sacrifice Rancor with this, and then he searches a basic land in the process. That's insane card advantage. Holy shit, this card is really goddamn good, and so is Commune with Nature. I'm not sure if this is already a reprint. You know what? We're gonna check right freaking now. We're gonna exit the full screen for a bit. Yeah, break kayfabe for a bit. Yep. Yeah, it's a reprint. First print is in Champions of Kamigawa. All right. There's definitely a reprint. Wow, that hasn't been reprinted in a while. I mean, yeah. Ooh. So yeah, these two cards could potentially actually go in the same decks, but I don't. I can definitely see Brave the Wilds being the better pick over Commune with Nature. Then, what's the flavor text? Agatha befriended the beasts of the wilds, and under her influence, they grew bolder and more savage. Some herbivores have developed a taste for flesh. Oh dear, is Agatha a vampire? I'm pretty sure she's a vampire, but I'm gonna see the higher rarity cards after this. Next, we have Curse of the Werefox. Okay, so it's the same woman again. Oh, it's just an oh, they're just elves. They're elves of Red Tooth Keep. Interesting. Okay, so what does Curse of the Werefox do? Create a monster roll token attached to target creature you control. When you do, it's a fight spell. Okay, it's a 3-mana sorcery speed fight spell. No, and then I think it fights twice. Oh wait, no, it doesn't fight twice. It just gets +1/+1 and trample. There we go. I had to keep reading because there's a lot of words in the parentheses here. It's the obligatory fight spell in the for the draft environment, but otherwise, probably not for constructed. Up next, we have Ferocious Werefox, a 4-mana 4/3 with guard change. It's an instant where it creates a monster roll and then it has trample. I mean, this is definitely an insane curve filler for limited, but unconstructed, there are like better options, unfortunately. Oh boy. Next, we have Hamlet Glutton, a 6-mana... Wait, it says 6? No, that's 7. 7-mana 6/6 with bargain. It costs 2 less to cast if it's bargain, and when it enters the battlefield, you gain 3 life. This is Thragtusk. That's a Thragtusk effect right there. Oh my god. 2 less to cast, so this could potentially just be a 5 mana. Yeah, it's a 5-mana 6/6 with trample, and then on ETB you gain 3. Tron players are salivating all over again. As if they aren't already like as if they don't already have it good enough, but they have to have something like this. Oh my god. And it's a 6/6 as well with trample. That's insane. Holy shit. Oh my god. And it's as if Tron doesn't already have enough like sacrificeable yes, sacrificeable is a term now. Disposable is the term I was looking for, but yeah, as if Tron didn't already have enough stuff to just throw away to this Hamlet glutton. They're even gonna gain 3 life in the process. So I can definitely see this seeing sideboard play at the very least. But if it's even in the main deck, I will not even be surprised. Next, we have Hollow Scavenger, a 3 mana 3/2. Yeah, I was reading this as I was drinking water earlier, and I'm already not impressed. I mean, it's 1 mana, just create a food token. No. Probably more for limited, but even then, this is like middle of the pack. Pardon that phrase there, because you're a wolf and whatnot. But no, not even that. Next, we have Leaping Ambush. Target creature gets +1/+3 and gains reach, and then you untap it. Witch Stalkers have extremely powerful legs, all the better to reach you with. Oh no. Wait, Witch Stalkers are... Wait, that's what you call wolves? Witch Stalkers? Really? Okay. But otherwise, it untaps a creature, so, I mean, if you untap a mana dark with this, I mean, I don't see why not. But otherwise, no. Next, we have Red Tooth Genealogist, 3 mana 2/3. When enters the battlefield, create a royal roll token attached to another target creature you control. More curve filler, unfortunately, but not hell. I don't even think this would see like constructed play. But again, I have been proven wrong by the metagame evolving how it does. So we're gonna see if this guy is, if his ETB effect is like more than enough to make it see serious competitive play. Next, we have Return from the Wilds, 3 mana, choose 2. Search your library for a basic land, put it on the battlefield, then shuffle. Create a 1/1 human or create a food token. So you can only have a combination of any of these. You can only have any of the 3 in combination. No, unfortunately. There are some effects that already for 3 mana already makes you search 2 basic lands, and this is, the modality of creating a 1/1 or making a food. Probably not, but otherwise, no. Next, we have Root Rider Fawn, a 2 mana 1/3. That's a mana dork, and then you filter mana into it, add 1 mana of any color. Human feet aren't inferior to hooves for climbing. It's their plodding, mistrustful personalities that hold them back. Wow. The shade thrown at humans. Oh my god. It's a mana dork at the very least, so Raga Draga players rejoice. And it also acts as a filter for mana as well, so something to keep an eye out for if you're a Raga Draga player. But otherwise, probably not for constructed. Well, not for Pauper constructed, but for EDH, something to keep an eye out for. Next, we have Sky Beast Tracker, 4 mana 2/4 with reach. Whenever you cast a spell with mana modifier, no. This set may have a lot of stuff that costs 5 or more, but no. It has reach, yeah, sure, it's a blocker, but no. Next, Spider Food, sorcery, destroy up to 1 target artifact, enchantment or creature with flying. The obligatory destroy target creature with flying effect in draft. Yay! Spider food indeed. To the giant spiders of Dunbarrow, there's a little difference between a fly and a fairy. Yeah, fairies are slightly bigger. Next, we have Territorial Witch Stalker, a 2 mana 2/3 with Defender. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control a power with power, more power than power. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater territory, Witch Stalker gets +1/+0, and then it can attack as though it didn't have Defender. So it becomes a 3/3. But you need a creature with power 4 or greater. That's actually really goddamn good. Defenders are balanced by the fact that you'd have to jump through hoops if you want them to attack, but this is actually really easy to trigger, especially in Pauper, where a lot of creatures have like insane stats for being common. If you're just playing non-rotating formats that only play commons because there aren't any better options. In Pauper, it's the only option you have, and this is really, really good to look at, but I could be wrong because again it dies to lightning bolt and whatnot. So if it had more toughness, I could definitely see it seeing play, but otherwise no. Up next, we have Titanic Growth, a obligatory 2 mana +4/+4 for green. For draft, Yes, but constructed, probably not. Next, we have Toadstool Admirer. There we go. I had to put that in. Ward one mana, 1/1 with Ward 2, and then it's a mana sink that you could potentially make bigger, and it's an oof. It's an oof. Where an oof makes its home, the land blooms with color and joy. And then Troublemaker Oof, so another Oof. This one has Bargain this time around. And then when it enters the battlefield, if it's Bargain, exile target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. And some people are excited about this card in particular because it's basically a removal spell on legs. Really skinny legs at that. Holy shit. I mean, are Oofs really supposed to be this small? I mean, I'm used to Collector Oof and all of the hair that I see on that thing, but these Oofs are more are more gremlin-like. Well, I think oofs are supposed to be gremlins, or are they supposed to be like goblin equivalents? But who knows? But yeah, exiling an artifact or enchantment, that's really, really important in today's Pauper format. So definitely keep an eye out for this one moving forward. Next, we have Verdant Outrider, 3 mana 4/2. No. Next. Candy Trail. It's a food clue. When it enters the battlefield, scry 2, sacrifice it, gain 3, draw 1. This is not a replacement for Lembas, but this is just as goddamn good. God damn it. Oh my god. And it's only 1 mana as well. Oh my god. This is actually really good. Holy shit. I mean, granted, the mana sink is not as good as Chromatic Star, but you know, it's good enough. Honestly, it's good enough. If there's a deck that can at least support something like this, I can definitely see Tron using this. I could be completely wrong because they already have like better draw engines elsewhere. But at the very least, you know, Tron players, you should at least try Candy Trail. If you don't already have like let's say Chromatic Star and whatnot. And Ginger Brute, hey, good to see you again. And sometimes as fast as you can isn't quite fast enough. Yeah, especially if you're if the thing chasing you is like it has like bigger strides. Next we have Prophetic Prism. I would go over this card even more, but unfortunately it's banned. Next, we have Scarecrow Guide. No. Just no. Stuff like this doesn't even like see play in limited. This is just curve filler, if anything. But otherwise, no. You're doing a splendid job, my noble Stitch friend. Not a single bird has attacked us. That is frightening. That's so frightening. Oh my god. But wait, I just noticed now. Most dreams reveal but fragments of what you could be. Only nightmares can show you who you truly are. What the hell is Ashiok doing to this woman? Oh no. Alright, I forgot that there was like lore tidbit somewhere where Ashiok is on this plane as well. Like holy shit. Oh my god. And oh my god, the basic lands are amazing. Oh my god. You know, again, if there's one thing Magic the Gathering has over other card games is that they have perfected the art of making really good art on their cards. Because some other, especially the East Asian card games where they just take screen caps from their various animes and then transpose it onto the cards. Magic the Gathering has had like they have had 30 years of experience of making card art under their belt. So see stuff like this and hell even the secret layers it's just wonderful to look at. It's just absurd masterpieces sometimes, and it's all made by the same person. Yeah, Hari and Dipti. Yeah, oh boy. And Crystal Grotto making a reprint. I was very high on this card way back when, and it took the community about like 6 months to a year to realize that hey, this card's actually pretty goddamn good. And I told the community that I was a part of, I told you guys so. You should be playing more Crystal Grotto. God damn it! This is basically your replacement for Prophetic Prism. And it's a land. It's also a land. So go play more Crystal Grotto. Oh my god. But yeah, so definitely the most exciting card for Pauper is Brave the Wilds, because it's a 1 mana search a land, and hell can even turn one of your lands into an elemental. So basically, you can have a 3/3 by turn 2 if you have something to sacrifice. But otherwise, yeah, I am definitely going to be very excited once I've had the chance to play with these cards from Wilds of Eldraine. So I am looking forward to what this set is going to do for the format. And yeah, if you like what you saw, hit like, comment, subscribe, and share this among your friends. And until next time, toodles!